What's up, guys? Today we're talking about how to get over guilt. And I think this is a really important topic to talk about because sometimes guilt is something that we create a prison in our minds and we hold ourselves captive of daily. And although the intentions are good, we gotta get through it. So let's get right into it. Step number one, realize what guilt is teaching you. What happens is, whatever the scenario was, you have violated your values in such a way that your integrity became compromised. And it feels strange because you're usually consistent with your values, but you violated your values. So what you normally are as a human being, you did the exact opposite. So you feel a weird, strange occurrence in your brain, in your mind, and really in your whole entire being. And you carry the guilt with you because normally you do things one way and you did the exact opposite. So for instance, if you're somebody who never swears and all of a sudden you go off on a tirade and start swearing at somebody, you had an identity and you violated it. So you are very strongly holding yourself to a personal identity, and then violating it makes you feel like a liar to yourself. And that is the reasoning why you feel guilty. And whenever we do feel guilty, we feel a sense of shame. So that brings me to step number two. Guilt is actually a positive thing. It's our brains teaching us that normally we're better and that we need to be better. The problem is when we start to focus on the pain instead of the reasons why pain happened. Instead of justifying our actions, which is a good thing that we don't, we instead become entrenched in sadness and create this kind of, like I was saying before, a prison that locks us in. And that brings me to step number three. It's up to you to find a new meaning on what this guilt means. And let me explain. The purpose of any scenario in life is actually always up to you. Whatever happens, whatever the scenario is, you create the meaning behind it. So if you feel guilty, it's up to you to create a meaning behind the actual situation. So when you're creating a new meaning regarding your guilt, use a two-step process. One, make it growth-oriented, and two, make it goal-oriented. So for instance, if you did something bad, make sure that the meaning you attach to it is, okay, this happened in my life and because of it, I am going to grow from it. I'm going to choose to not do that, actively focus on not doing the scenario again, on not hurting another human being again. And then two, making it goal-oriented. Actually write it down. I will not do this and I will get better at this because of these reasons, and make it a focus. So therefore, instead of living with your guilt, you're actually focusing towards finding the new meaning, and you're creating a different purpose in your brain. Step number four, apologize. You gotta take a look in the mirror and apologize to yourself. Realize that this isn't something that you normally wanted to do, and intentionally it wasn't something that you wanted to do. Maybe it was intentional too. Either way, you gotta apologize. You gotta look at yourself in the mirror and say, I deserve to treat myself better. And then the second part, the second person you gotta apologize is the people that you've hurt. And too many times we're good at apologizing to ourselves, but instead we protect our ego and don't want to reach out to the people we hurt. You gotta do it. It will feel so much better to make restitution regarding the situation. You gotta apologize to them. Put your ego aside and say you're sorry. You kind of gotta correct your shame by correcting your shame. You have to make sure it's an ongoing process of you correcting the process. The whole point is to become a better person. So if you want to be able to get over guilt, you gotta realize what guilt is teaching you, and that's teaching you to become a better person. And getting over guilt is very simple. You gotta focus on the purpose instead of focusing on the pain.